And I think you told us, you gave us an update in January, and maybe Councilman Witten asked about the food. I think we call it swag liquor food. They paid for a lot of the merchandise that ended up, like I see $28,000 worth of stuff. I'm assuming liquor, like, I remember you saying something about like sweatshirts and glow in the dark stuff. Blue Water covered a lot of that, right? So we didn't cover 100% of the cost of the stuff, did we?
They paid for all of it.
They paid for all glow items, all sweatshirts, all t-shirts. They did tell us to keep them at the end. Basically, we purchased all the things to supply the event, as far as Gordon's runs, all that.
Right, I was trying to
purchase that, and then they said keep it as.
I saw like alcohol reimbursement and concessions, so that's part of the 28 grand. But the sweatshirts and the glow in the dark stuff that they paid for was still cut 50-50. So it seems like the cost of those items was split, and maybe they spent a little bit more, but we still split the cash 50-50.
The revenue with them, correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it worked out. That was a favorable for us on that side, but yeah, and then we kept it, and if the sponsors return next year, we can sell the same sweatshirts.
Is
Okay.
there a question? Yes.
Councilman Johnson. Through the chair, so what I'm seeing here is that we, our split was 151,000.
Back to that, yes.
And the total expenses was 140,000.
Yeah, we're about 11 to the good.
11 to the good.
Yeah, after donations and everything, yeah.
How many times did that happen with, like, a festival?
Recently, no. Yeah, I know
So,
in years past they've had such.
Where is that 11 going?
I would assume, Jason, can you help me with that? How does that absorb in? Does that go just into the?
Wasn't it possible some of that's actually spent though on things like insurance and fencing costs and other items that maybe aren't itemized on this list?
That's what I was going to kind of ask too. It's like, you know, I seen, you know, the reimbursement for the employees of the rec and all that, but did we ever calculate like police and your guys, you know, setting up the fence and all that other stuff?
Through the chair, I just want to make something absolutely clear. I got this final report last week too, so I'm still going through the reports. There is some monies that did come into the city and some monies that did disperse to the cities. But I'm still in the process of looking at everything, auditing the reports as well. So that being said, there is overhead cost that I don't believe is in the report, like building and grounds costs for putting up the fencing, maybe insurance costs. There's all kinds of other costs that I don't see in here. But again, I'm not prepared to talk about at this point until I have the time to audit the information. So.
Do you think that we would be able to do it on our own next year? I think you guys did so much work out there, so much on our end. They were the lights.
Yeah, so
you know,
our
but
goal
I think
is we'd have to communicate, and it could be Blue Water, could be somebody else. We did have a thought of a different plan of attack that we would take that would benefit our interests more, as opposed to going at it as a full partnership, where we feel now we probably could run it and facilitate a lot of things. We don't own a few of the things we would need to make it the success we want it, but hopefully there'd be an opportunity to rent those items and absorb that into the proceeds of the event, as opposed to a full-on partnership. So we would have to weigh those options and talk to those companies to see if that'd be something they'd be willing to do.
yeah, because every time something came up, and it was like this costume, that costume, but it goes to, you know, the clown thing or whatever, and it's like, oh,
so
what are we going to do with it?
Facilitated a lot. We did do. It was a lot on our end, and we feel we could run it pretty successfully if we were to do so.
Well, just from what I've heard from people and what I've seen myself, I think you guys did an awesome job. Our people did an awesome job.
I appreciate that.
Blue Water did good because that's what they do.
Yeah.
But you guys did an awesome job.
First time event.
Exactly.
You guys did
for shifting gears in the middle of a
great.
pandemic to try to put something on, I feel it was a success. Anything can always be better. I am the biggest critic of everything I do.
Especially being the first year.
Yeah.
You know, you learn from different things.
You can't read social media on this
real quick on that.
Well, and I think if you did have a different direction on going, that maybe even the cost of the tickets could be lower for our residents.
That was one of the thoughts. Yeah, we can make it tough.
But kudos to you guys. You did an awesome job.
Rita, what do you think? How do you think Blue Water? Did they give you guys any feedback on how they felt?
what was Scott's opinion, the gentleman we dealt with?
I mean, from our understanding, he said they did lose a little on the event. It's hard to tell because you don't really ever see a clear picture of what their loss.
They lost money on their employees, or how did they?
More the equipment. I don't think so some of the things they brought for us out were purchases they made, a lot of trees, like the Yeti Village, things like that, where you're not going to recoup it unless they had a certain number they wanted to hit, or they wouldn't have recouped their revenues or their money spent. But maybe going forward, they feel they could do that with the event.
They could use that at 10 other
They
events.
can rent it and use it. So yeah, now it becomes, when they look at it just as the small sample size of the event, but after they rent it or use it 10 times, it's gonna.
You're not gonna pay for all that equipment out of one event.
Right.
I don't want
I
to
would
keep
Exactly,
using.
especially when COVID was still going at that time and people were still somewhat hesitant.
It'd be like me buying a sewer machine and expecting to get it all done in one sewer.
Right, that's what I'm saying, for 180 grand, I would think maybe they felt like, especially in the middle of a pandemic.
They did not want to not sit down and talk about 2021. They want to sit. They want to have it. So I know they were happy.
Yeah.
Just by it, they want to
Yeah, it was an
continue
initial
the
investment,
relationship.
absolutely.
Thank you.
I agree.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
So,
Thank you, Chelsea.
while you're up here, I'll just ask real quick, we have a motion to approve Winterfest contributions per the attached financials. Is there any other questions on that?
Oh, you know what, I did have one other question about, on the agenda item 6.9 where it listed the sponsorships. Fairfax Electric is listed at $250, but the split between the city and Blue Water is listed at $1,250. Did they?
I think they were
Did they give us 2,500? It's a
correct.
typo? Okay.
Typo. We'll get that. We'll email that to
I
Michelle.
didn't know if we
I usually check. I usually
overpaid
find those.
Blue Water or not, so.
There any other? All right, thanks, guys, appreciate it. Before I go to the next one, Darren, I apologize, I know I call you Aiden all the time, because you look just like somebody I know named